Hola, ¿qué tal? Soy Javi de mikeandjavi.com. Esto es English Listening. En el vídeo de hoy, Mike nos va a hablar sobre las redes sociales y su experiencia con ellas. Mike, adelante con ello.
Hello and welcome to English Listening. I'm Mike from mikeandjavi.com. Today I thought I would just talk a little bit about social media. Something that is of interest to me, but something that I find that different people have a different perception of. I have some friends, for example, that don't use social media at all, and their reasoning is that they don't want to publicize things about themselves. They don't want people to know stuff about themselves, so they don't really get it. They feel it's almost like they can feel the prying eyes of people, and they don't really like that. And I just think it's really interesting how social media has changed through the years, and I think that there's a lot of benefits to social media, and there's a lot of downsides to social media. Now, I think I started using social media way back in the Friendster days. This had to be the 1990s or something like that, when it was just a basic page where you can just put some information up about yourself, and it was really just a contact page. You know, kind of a contact page that was the same for everybody. You know, you can put your contact information up, and people can find you, and they can put a message on your page. But it really wasn't as active as Facebook is today, for example. And after Friendster, I remember getting an account over on Myspace, and I remember, I think in the I don't know if it was the early 2000s or where that was, but Myspace was really huge for a period of time, but it became like a place for 16-year-olds to promote themselves on, and I seem to remember people were doing things called pimping their page, which, pimping is a reference to something else, but pimping your page basically was when you would you'd make it look nice and interesting and different from everybody else's page. And it's interesting how social media has changed, and that it went from being a way to kind of put information about yourself to being a place where you can communicate information between people. And that really kind of started with Facebook. And I think I got my Facebook page, I think maybe 4 years ago. And around the same time that Twitter came out. And I'm not a Twitter person, and I never really understood Twitter people. Maybe somebody can explain to me what the benefit of using Twitter over Facebook is. I have a Twitter account, but I haven't really ever utilized it. I just kind of reserved my name, and that was all I ever did with it. And I've probably posted 3 things on it in the entire time that I've had an account. So I don't really understand why people use Twitter. I always kind of thought it was more for celebrities, maybe. But Facebook, I'm not a huge fan of Facebook, but it seems to be the place where everybody is. And if you want to connect to people, that seems to be where you have to go. So like it or not, that's kind of the place where all communication really happens. And I'm a fan of Google+. I'm not a huge fan of using it the same way that I would use Facebook. Facebook, I'm really kind of communicating with people, whereas Google Plus is kind of like putting up things of interest. And I really like some of the other services that are attached to Google Plus, like the Google Hangouts, and there's a lot of technology there that's really nice. And Javi and I have been using some of that stuff for doing our chats on a weekly basis. The Google Hangouts video conference. It is great, and I think they have something on Facebook now. I've gotten used to using that. And I'm also over on Pinterest. We have some stuff on Pinterest, and I don't really get Pinterest either. It's so weird how we have all these different ways to communicate with each other, but I'm not really a huge fan of any of them. I kind of use some of them just for the necessity of, there's a necessity to connect to people, and like I said, Facebook is the main place to go. Someone told me that Pinterest basically is a very female-centric network, and though it's not, obviously, I think like 70% last time I looked at some of the infographics. It said like 70% of the viewership or the users are women. I don't know if that's true anymore, but it's interesting to see that there's that kind of presence there. And I don't know, my philosophy about Facebook has always been, I have a very limited group of people that I will let be my friends. I kind of have this understanding with Facebook that I friend you only if I've had a in-person conversation with you, or if I've had a period of time where I've been communicating with you. There's a lot of people that just friend for the sake of friending, and I have never been that kind of a person. I think I have like 50 or so people on my friends list on Facebook, and every single one of them I have a personal connection with. And the funny thing is that even with Javi, we were talking on Google Hangouts for months before we even became Facebook friends. So it took that's how long it takes before I actually I feel comfortable connecting and saying, hey, you're amongst the people that I want to be communicating personal information to on a regular basis, and seeing your personal information. I tend to have a rule when it comes to posting in general on social networks, and that is that I don't post anything unless I have something that is unique to say and personal. And I try not to be too personal. So I'm just really fascinated to see where social media is heading in the coming years, and if it's going to kind of become something that goes more into the background. And when you look at things like Google Glass, where it's kind of recording all the time, and you can imagine broadcasting your daily life 24/7 and not really paying attention to the fact that you're delivering information to people, but it's just automatically going up. And I'm wondering how you guys also feel about that. Do you feel that there is a line that you have to draw where you say, like, there's a little too much information being shared? Or do you just feel like anything goes? Let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious what you guys think. But I'll let you guys go, and I'll talk to you later.
Muy bien, pues vamos con las preguntas. ¿Puedes nombrar todas las redes sociales que ha usado Mike? Segunda, ¿qué dice Mike que hacía la gente con su página de Myspace? Tercera pregunta, ¿usa su cuenta de Twitter? Cuarta pregunta, ¿qué le parece interesante sobre Pinterest? Y última, ¿qué dice Mike sobre sus amigos de Facebook? Bueno, pues hablando de redes sociales, podéis encontrarnos en nuestra página de Facebook, en nuestro perfil de Pinterest, por ejemplo, y en mikeandjavi.com, donde tenéis todos los vídeos, así como nuestros blogs de texto y otros recursos para aprender idiomas. Recordad también que podéis suscribiros en cualquiera de nuestros canales de YouTube, en English Listening o en Spanish Listening. Y nada más, si os ha gustado este vídeo, por favor, marcad el dedo pulgar hacia arriba, y si queréis decirnos cualquier cosa, pues usad el espacio de comentarios. Gracias, hasta la semana que viene.